guess would be, hey, how are you doing with everything? Where are you at? Because I know that she was looking to list back in December.
Okay,
So,
and she's not on the MLS?
no,
Okay, that's the first thing you wanna do.
yeah.
So, you're busy, she's busy, you're too busy for real estate?
No, just like, the only time we have
I'm
conversations
just challenging you right now.
is if she's outside and I'm outside and.
So not intentional.
Yeah, yes.
It's time for an intentional conversation.
Okay,
100%. You
Okay.
go and you knock on her door.
okay.
Like, what time we out of class? That'd be a good time.
Bring her.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Bring her stuff with
Yeah.
me.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
was thinking about you. How
Yeah.
are you? What's going on with the house?
Mm-hmm.
I'm licensed and I'm happy to help you, and I know we have a trusted relationship right now. You need to be surrounded by people that trust you, or that you trust.
Okay.
Why would that not be your conversation? Like, you have the ability to do that,
Right.
right? Is there any fear there?
No.
Oh, I saw some. Yeah, what's going on?
I just don't want her to be like she's new, she doesn't know anything about real estate right now, you know?
That's even better. That's
Yeah.
perfect. So she
That I'm new,
just
yeah.
go with it, like she's
Right.
saying, go with it with the right
Yeah,
intention,
so
and then that'll.
who do you
she'll-
want her with? You who cares about her, or
Yeah.
somebody who doesn't even know her?
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't she be surrounded by people that know her
Yeah.
and will have her best interest at
Yes.
heart and can?
So I spoke to Keone about it, and he
Yes.
was like, show up with comps. And I'm like, already? Like, that's, I don't know.
I would take a little bit of a more.
You know, he's
Yeah,
like,
I
print
know.
out the comps in the area and then bring it over.
And here's the thing, we're all different, right? We're all gonna have a different answer.
Yeah.
I would have a first conversation and say, let me do this for you. I'm gonna bring you some comps,
Yeah.
so I know what my properties were. I'll let her know I'm going to do that.
Okay,
That's how I would handle the situation,
yeah.
personally.
Woman's perspective, yeah.
It's just different,
Yeah.
right? Different personalities, different approaches. That's how I would personally approach it. And that's why every day person I work with ends up being a very good friend of mine.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm sick of friends, go away. No, I'm kidding.
Same.
Okay. But yeah, why not? Absolutely. But both of us are telling you do something.
Mm-hmm.
Notice there's a trend.
Yeah.
So, yes.
So I
Absolutely.
planted the seed the last time we had the conversation. She had a birthday a couple months ago, so I went over and got her, gave her a birthday gift.
And you planted what seed?
I told her, oh, I just got my real estate license.
Okay.
So, and she goes, oh, okay. She didn't really, that's it. End of
Okay.
conversation. And then she was like, oh yeah,
Right.
I'm still trying to fix the house here and there. Because she's having some health issues. And like I said, she's alone. So she's like, my
Right.
brother's going to come next month, help me paint.
I would get you and your kids one weekend and ask her what you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And help her. Even if it's like a day for a couple hours, you'll reach out.
Right, but see, again, the impression out there could be great, they're licensed to help people buy houses. Not that you're a listing specialist, because you certainly haven't said that yet, have you?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Again, you cannot assume these things.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Nice job. All right, what did you find in there? You're like, nugget, awesome, love it.
Sorry, in your profile, when you're setting up and like getting to know each other,
Uh-huh.
how deep is deep? You know, it's like somebody new, I mean, you're gonna say your background, you're gonna do all that, and you're telling them what you're about, but
Oh, you're talking about when you're talking about you, or you're talking
yeah,
about when you ask
the
them
about me.
questions? Okay,
So my
something about
commitment,
me.
my
Okay.
commitment to you, but when you're a complete stranger, I mean, hold on, I'm really technical when I think.
Yeah.
So when you're committing to somebody,
Mhm.
right, and you just met them,
Mhm.
or what does that sound like in this world, in the real estate world? So what are they looking for? Your commitment in your time with them, or you know what I mean? Like, cause you
Selling
know,
their house.
cause we're not like it's a friendship, but you like you said, like I don't want any more friends. How do you keep it business? There you go. You know, and the commitment part.
So what's your commitment to them?
I mean,
You gotta be clear on that.
Yeah.
Right? So one of the big things in KW is the promise. So that's on the Google Drive. You can watch. Oh wait, I might not have uploaded it yet. I just recently got the main guy. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard about the Lance Logan team, but they have, I don't know, they've got multiple hundreds of agents because they have multiple teams. It's an expansion team, so he's in lots of different cities. You'll hear the name Lance Logan a lot. Big team. So he uses the promise, but the original guy that created the promise, which is basically, I promise to give you 10 plus service. I do 5-star because everybody's into 5-star ratings, but he says 10 plus, right? I promise to give you 10 plus service, and I want you to always let me know if there's anything that's happening that you're not feeling like you're getting 10 plus plus service. So it's this whole conversation with how I will be for you. Then it's also I'm gonna ask you for something. And what I'm asking you for is that by the time we hit the closing table, you've referred me to somebody because you feel like I've treated you with 10 plus service. If we hit the closing table and you haven't referred me to somebody, then I'm gonna assume I didn't give you 10 plus service. Like, it's a expectation set up ahead of time. So it's very interesting. It's called the promise. When you guys get Adam's listing presentation on video after class today, you will be able to, he throws it in there too. He talks about the promise. So you get an idea of what that's about. So that will probably clarify that for you. Yeah, nice. It's nice to lay out expectations, isn't it? Yes. Matthew, what'd you find in there that you really liked?
Something that I probably knew, but I actually stopped and I said, besides just clearing away for your, like, family mementos and everything else, it's just how important staging is on a house. Like,
Yes.
I've
Yes.
been on both ends of it, and just it makes a world of difference, that's for sure. And
Nice.
to be able to reiterate that to the seller is very important.
It really is. So I focus a lot on condos. So I actually have a condo staging kit, and I was with one of my clients this weekend they're fixing their place, so they want, it's like go over and tell us if we're doing the right thing. We're gonna do this, and then I do a lot of consulting with people for stuff like that. And it's so funny because every time he talks to me, he's like, "You're my realtor." He said it wrong, but it's so cute. "You're my realtor," and I'm like, okay, I love it. But I said to him, hey, I have a small staging kit, so I'm gonna make it look really great in here. And she was so stinking excited. I'm like, $300 at Ross, and I'm like, the bee's knees. But it's these little things that make a difference. So I have put that into, let me tell you, I've lipsticked on a pig with that before and had like the ugliest condo and got what we were looking for because we had the staging kit up. It makes a difference. People can't see, and then they look at just, some basic staging stuff, and they're like, oh, it looks so cute. And you're like, yeah, because you're not looking past that stuff.
And to back up that point, you know how you said you can't just expect people to understand that you are a buyer or seller's agent. You
Yes.
also can't expect people that are walking into purchase to be able to look past
Yes.
what they see, because I forget, because I've done so many remodels and did that, my wife and I can just look past stuff, but most people
Right.
can't do that very well, so.
I actually find it's a disadvantage if you're in real estate and you can look past that stuff, because your natural assumption is that everyone else can too. And I'm
Right.
married to someone who can't see it. He cannot see. I can explain it in great detail, draw pictures. He does not see it until it is actually done. And he's like, "Oh wow, that looks amazing." And I'm like, dude, come on the journey. And I'm the one who can see, like, I can look at like awful, and I'm like, the bones are great. This is gonna look fantastic. And he's like, ew, right? Like that's a lot of buyers. They just walk in and they're like, ew, no thanks. I need something prettier, because they can't see it. So when you stage it, it just looks so much better. Story for you. Pictures in houses of the family. This is an island. Everybody knows everybody. So buyer walks in, looks at the house, likes the house, sees the pictures, knows the seller, goes outside the chain of buyer and seller agents and tries to buy directly from the seller. So I was like, ooh, yeah, no more pictures. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, very good. Staging is really important. It really is. Even if it's just clearing up clutter, it makes a difference. And I will tell you, you're gonna walk in a lot of these places and be like, seriously? You couldn't just pick up the stuff, right? Yes? Jim?
Can't they see, even if you take down their photos, can't they see or do their research and find out who owns them?
Yeah, they could. It's
Yeah.
a tax record, but are you really gonna go through all that work versus, oh, that's so-and-so, I'm just gonna go talk to so-and-so and buy the house. Most
Yeah.
people won't go through that
Okay.
much work. Patrick, what'd you find in there you liked?
Expectations, just this whole expectation section, I just found it really helpful to just kind of lay it out there, let people know exactly what I'm gonna do, because they aren't educated.
Yes.
This section of it.
Yes, I actually have a list, and it's like 150 things that your realtor does for you, and it's very cool because it breaks down everything. So it was like, what do you do? You don't do anything. You make all this money, and I'm like, oh, okay. Here's my little sheet. I'm reading that. So yeah, people don't realize. And you wanna lay out some clarity of what they can expect moving forward. And that's why a lot of people will run off to make a showing without doing a buyer's appointment with someone. And a lot of people don't know the process of buying. Like, set them up for success. You are setting people up for success when you have a buyer's appointment. Just like you would have a listing appointment, you're explaining everything that's gonna happen. It's the same thing with a buyer. Like, these buyers get an escrow and they're like, I don't know what's happening. And they start to panic a little bit because you didn't prepare them. That falls on you, right? Like, prepare them. Yeah, very good. What'd you find, Elena?
He likes, the 5 factors of getting ready to list.
Good.
Of the
Okay.
5 factors, you only can change 2, the price and the condition.
Yeah, isn't that awesome? And I would actually argue that you can't change the price. You don't determine the price, let's put it that way. So there's a really cool presentation, it's in your homework for Ignite, and I don't remember which one it is, but there's 5 factors, you cannot control price. What controls the price of the home? The market. It's the market, 100%. I don't control the price, you don't control the price, well, market does. Can't change that. I can change the condition and make it look better. Can't change the location, right? So just remember, these are like all good things to have conversations with people because it gets their mind right. Nice, I like that. Thank you, Melania. Marcus, what'd you find?
I like my favorite sentence in the getting price to sell is that overpriced home will be evidenced by lack of interest, few showings, no offers, longer time on market, possibly price cuts, which look bad from the buyer's perspective.
Yes, excellent. You're gonna love Adam's presentation because he's gonna talk about that. He actually says, if we get this many showings, we're this much overpriced. If we get this many showings, we're this much overpriced. Like, he breaks it down for the people. So notice he's not saying we might be overpriced. He's saying if this happens, we're this much. If this happens, we're this much. Notice the alternative was not that we were okay priced. It was just, we know we're overpriced. It's just how much. So you're setting yourself up for success. Nice. Excellent. Well done. All right. So we're going to watch a little video.
Hi, I'm Josh Bath from Vancouver, Canada. I'm with Keller Williams for 8 years, been selling real estate for 18 years. Now I'm going to walk you through my listing presentation, and it's a 3-step process. The first part is preparation, the second part is presentation, and the third part is follow-up. A lot of my listings come by way of referral and repeat. And so when the call comes in and they want me to come over and list their home, I have a conversation about what their needs are, what exactly is it you're looking to do. Are you moving up? Are you moving down? I have them tell me exactly what the reasons are that they're selling it for. I get a real sense of what direction that they want to go. One of the things that we've done to make my appointment setting a little easier is we've time blocked. We follow what Gary says. He says time block everything that you do, and we've time blocked our slots in advance for listing appointments. Every day, Monday to Friday, we have a slot available at 4 o'clock and a second slot available at 5:30. So I've got a potential of 10 listing appointments Monday to Friday. That makes my life a lot easier because I'm able to time block my lead generation first thing in the morning and not have my day so loose and scattered. So I'm trying to scramble on where to put a listing appointment. What we do now in our team is we decided to go paperless with our evaluations, our CMAs. So instead of printing off paper, what we'll do is we'll take it on the computer and convert it to PDF, mark it up with a highlighter from there on the computer, and then create an email from that. Email that package off to our client prior to going out to listing. What I do when I go on a listing presentation is I meet the sellers at the door, and I have them take me on a tour of the property. During that time, I'm actually asking them to tell me again, to recap again, what their motivation is for selling. So I'm getting them more comfortable with them moving out of their house is what I'm doing. That usually takes about 5 minutes. And when we're done there, we transition right over to the kitchen table. We'll talk about the market, the evaluation itself, and that in itself is about 15 minutes. Once we've agreed upon a price that we're going to list at, we'll sign a listing contract. They sign the initial 3-page contract, they sign the property disclosure statement, and they sign the working with a realtor brochure. Outside of those 3 documents, that's it. I send in my measuring company to come in and measure the home. I send in my stager who's gonna contact them to come in and stage the home. And once she's done, then I send to the photographer to take the photos of the home. We always do a follow-up with them as well, just to say, how did that go? What was that experience like for you? Keeps them feeling like they're in control and very much a part of the process. And it lets them know that we're paying attention to every detail along their listing prior to it even being on the market. One of the expectations that I set with the sellers is that I phone them twice a week on purpose. So I set their expectation for me to phone them on Monday mornings with what's called a Monday morning update, where I review everything that's happened for their home over the past weekend with them. The second call that I set them up for to expect is on Fridays, and that's a Friday morning market update. And what I've set them up for is that I'm going to talk to them about any new listings that have hit the market, any expireds that have come off the market, and any solds that have actually just happened since that past week. They also know that on Friday, we're going to be talking about the numbers. Does the current list price that we're at right now still make sense in relation to the latest listings or the most current solds? They know in advance that that conversation could lead to a price reduction, and a lot of times, they bring that on themselves. They say, hey, look, you know what, it looks like we might be a bit high, Josh. Should we bring it down? So it's a natural transition to a price reduction. One of the reasons I choose not to do a pre-listing package is when I'm sitting in front of them, I really want their full focus and attention. I want their attention on me, and I want to be able to ask them questions where they're giving me their full attention and not flipping through a pre-listing package. Most of their questions are going to come straight from their gut, and that's really what I'm looking for. I'm Josh Bath, and I just shared my listing presentation with you, and I wish you all the best with yours.
All right. What'd you think?
It seemed fluid.
Huh?
I said it seemed really fluid. Just had a nice flow.
Linear. Very linear.
Right. Makes sense. Yeah. Anything else you got from that? That you were like, you know, your aha moment? I never thought of that, or?
The way that he was able to get into a price reduction, just letting it happen organically.
Yeah, that's smart, right? Give the information, and people will get there on their own.
Yeah. Keeping the seller involved at all times so they feel like they're in control.
Yes.
That's important.
Yes. Very nice. So, everybody does their business a little bit differently, right?
Yeah, like not having a pre-listing packet.
Right. Everybody does it differently. He doesn't bring it there. He does an email ahead of time. So I don't know what he includes in the email ahead of time. Some people do a drop off just so they can stand out and drop it off at a time. It's different for everyone. So for me personally, when I go into a listing presentation, I don't actually let them tour me around. No. So I hand them a property or questionnaire for them to fill out, and I say, we're actually looking to attract a buyer, so I wanna go view your home through the eyes of a buyer and see how they will see your home, because that's what we're looking to do. So you fill this out, when I come back, I'm gonna give you time to talk about all the awesome things, because it looks like you have a beautiful home here, and I know you're gonna wanna point out some great features, so we're gonna do that, but the first thing I wanna do is have fresh eyes and see it like a buyer would see it. So that's my tactic personally. I love that strategy. And I walk around, I take notes, and they fill out a questionnaire. Okay? So I just do it differently. Everybody does it differently. You have to come up with what works for you. And you're gonna get different tips and be like, oh, I wanna put that in, that's perfect, right? So just different things. I also set up the expectation of a Monday call. I don't tell them I'm going to call them on Friday. I just do it. So I am under promising and over delivering. Because if I say I'm gonna call you 2 times a week and for some reason I'll get the Friday call in, now I've failed. I've over promised and under delivered. So my strategy is you will hear from me every Monday for what is going on for the week, what happened over the weekend, and what our plan is for the week. And then on Friday I call them anyway. And they are surprised to hear from me, and I wanna give them a higher level. I just say, hey, I just wanna give you a higher level of service, so let's see where we're at after the week, right? Different strategies. Make sense?
Sure.
We all have different strategies, and you're gonna work that out. All right, so greet, walk through the home, listing presentation. So comparative market, or comparable, they call it comparable. I call it comparative market analysis, close for listing agreement, and next steps. So greet, when you greet people. All right, so let's go through Entering and touring the home is a key moment that can be emotional and exciting. Greet the seller warmly and thank them for the privilege of the appointment. So what do I say to sellers? The exact same thing I say to you guys every morning. Right? I knock on the door, they answer the door. Hey, Nicole Burns with Keller Williams. We had an appointment at 9 a.m. and it's 9 sharp. Is it okay if I come in? What am I saying?
You're on time.
I'm on time. Don't say that, it's 9:05. And by the way, if that's your thing, if you're you tend to be a few minutes late, make that your thing, and then you're there, you're ready, right? So keeps you on. All right. Thank you for inviting me here to apply for the job of getting your home sold. I personally would never say that.
No.
It's just me. I would not say that. I'm not applying for the job like I'm the best for the job, so let's just talk about how we're doing this, right? It's just a different scenario, right? All right, so walk through the home. This is important. The kitchen table is the best place for the presentation because it is there. It is there the sellers are most relaxed and friendly. So Malia, will you start us with the script and then walk us through the home tour?
Yes, okay, we're on number 24, right?
Yeah, we're on page 24, so
Okay,
start with the script.
Okay, do I mind if I set my things down at the table? Keep your
Kitchen.
home tour, or kitchen.
That's okay. Do you mind if I set my things down in the kitchen? Yeah, that's what I would actually say. And you do want to sit at the kitchen table. Awesome tactic.
Okay. Keep your home tour checklist with you and leave everything else at the table. At the end of the tour, it will feel natural to return to the kitchen for the presentation. If possible, tour the house without the sellers. This will give you the ability to focus on the tour, not the sellers. You will be able to control the time and agenda for the tour. Additionally, touring without the sellers will prevent the sellers from building up the home's value in their minds by telling you every detail they perceive as a positive. After the tour, be sure to compliment the house and bring up any positive details you noticed during your tour.
Very nice. So I really like the kids drawing on the walls. That was really nice. We're gonna paint over that? Right? But you do want to point out the features. This is what they own. They love their home, right? All right, so make it happen working with sellers. Patrick, would you read that part for me?
Where are we?
13. Whoa, why does it say,
25?
why does it say 13?
Yeah.
Do you guys have a 13?
No.
Oh my gosh, what is that? I have like a random page. 25, listing presentation,
Oh,
thank
here we
you.
go. The listing presentation is where you will convince the sellers to list with you. It's your opportunity to explain the reasons why they should hire you to list their home and the list price you recommend. At the listing appointment, you will create a great impression to build the seller's confidence in you as their real estate agent of choice to get their home sold. Share your price recommendation, the initial list price for their property, one that is designed to get their home sold in the shortest amount of time and for the most money possible. Set expectations for how you will market the home and work with the sellers. Next, you will review the entire seller listing presentation. You can go page by page to learn the materials in order to provide a valuable customer experience. Eventually, you will memorize this entire presentation and its related scripts. This will be crucial for your success as a listing agent, as many before you have found. How to use the listing presentation. When it is time to go on your listing appointment, you will give the customer the version without your notes. And you may use your version with scripts as a guide until you have it memorized.
Okay, so this is now like 42 pages, I don't know, I would never at this point use this. This is just an older, there's a lot in here. So let's kind of flip through it. First of all, and I'll give you guys some, if it's okay, we're gonna flip through it. I'll give you guys some things you can jot down, what I would recommend if you're gonna use something like this. So obviously, the guide, the preparation, right, confirming appointment times, we're on page 28. Show up on time or a little earlier, have a copy of the listing presentation for the seller. I don't always do that. Sometimes they can come in the office and we'll do it on PowerPoint, right? I always don't print stuff like that out. I print the stuff that I think that they need, right? The important stuff. Have business cards to present with a copy of the listing presentation. Know the comps for the home and the local market conditions. So it is very important that you know the comps. You cannot go to a listing presentation without comparables. okay? You gotta have your comps, which are your, what are they, your active, your listing, or your active, your pending, or your sold, which is your comps?
Sold.
Yes, should I also bring the actives to a listing presentation? Why?
Competition.
That's your competition, 100%. I need to know where you wanna strategically place yourself, right? So I have to know that. Yes, all right, so thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to get your home sold. Review the pre-listing package you left with the seller if you did leave one. Ask, did you have a chance to review the guide to selling your home? I left you, again, if you've left one. Great, and did you complete the questionnaire at the back? So I just give it to them when I come through the door, because I think that's the easiest. Do you have any questions about anything that was presented? If no, well, let's review the packet quickly before we move on. There are some questions at the end for you to answer. Be sure to get the preferred communication method and frequency. Very important. How do you like to be communicated with? Right? Text, email, phone call, find out, because that is a very important thing. We've got 6 goals for today's meeting. Quickly run through the 6 goals. About goal number 6, let me explain that what we can expect, that we can expect one of 3 items from our meeting today. 1, you may list your home with me, and that would be great. That sounds kind of desperate to me. I wouldn't say it like that, but you may not list your home with me, and to be honest, that wouldn't be so great, or I may be unable to take the listing. Is that fair? So basically what they're saying is, I'm either gonna list with you, not list with her. We're in a relationship to pick and choose. The way you wanna lay out for them is we're both deciding if we wanna work with each other. That's the relationship you're trying, right? You're gonna decide if you wanna work with me, and I'm gonna decide if I wanna work with you. Lay that out from the beginning, because if you nutsy cuckoo, I ain't taking your listing. I don't say that, but it's like, you have every right to say, you are deciding if you wanna work with me, and I'm deciding if I wanna work with you. If they wanna list some house that's worth $750,000 for $950,000, I'm not putting my name on that, putting it in the MLS. Thank you, you can go deal with somebody else. I'll pick you up in 6 months when you've done 3 price reductions and you need somebody who can actually sell it. Right? That's my attitude. Like, I'm not gonna waste my time with you. So lay it out in the beginning. You're deciding if you wanna work with me, and I'm deciding if I wanna work with you. Most people are like, oh, I didn't know it worked that way. I thought I was the decision maker. It's like, no, we're both decision makers, right? See how it puts you on a little more of a level playing field? Make sense? Okay, good. All right, thank you. So these are the goals for today. So discuss your motivation for selling. Define your 10, there it is right there. Define your 10 plus experience expectations. Review what you can expect from Keller Williams and me. Explain the selling process from listing to closing. Review the 3 factors that get your home sold, and decide to work together. All right. So it is nice right from the get-go to clarify what your goals for the day are. Sometimes you also want to clarify your timing. I honor your time just like you honor mine. We're going to take no longer than an hour to go through all of this material, right? Make sense? So I just lay it out there right from the beginning. All right, page 30, uncover and prioritize the seller's needs. So remember, the listing consultation is about them and their needs, not about you. You might want to highlight that. Not about you. I have like the littlest about me, because I'm like, what do you care? You don't care about me. You care what I can do for you and how I show up. That's what you care. So it's fine. You don't have to have an about me. You are there to ask questions and listen to their answers. Your job is to make sure they see you as their expert advisor, one who knows the listing and selling process. Your advice and input will help them get what they want from the sale. So some rules of communication. Number 1, ask lots of questions. We know that, right? Listen more than you talk. I've literally been talking, going, I'm so sorry. I am talking way too much. I love real estate. I can ramble. Tell me a little bit more about you. Tell me a little bit more about your scenario. Tell me a little bit more about where you're moving. And when you get there, what's that going to do for your family? And how's that going to feel? And when do you need to be there by? And just start asking questions, because you'll ramble, especially the first few times, because you're nervous. So you'll be talking. And there's nothing wrong with actually saying, I'm so sorry. I'm talking way too much. I just love real estate, so I can talk about real estate all day long. Tell me more about you, right? You can stop yourself and actually say those things. You'll have that moment. Yeah, we'll see. All right. So affirm their responses with great, that's wonderful, yes, I agree. Don't assume they already know something. They understand what you've told them, or they're done expressing their opinions or feelings. Ask for clarification. Do you guys know how to ask for clarification? Okay, do you understand what that means? Okay, so if I'm looking, you're looking to list your house, right? And I want to dig into my goal is actually to find your ultimate motivation. That's my goal. Okay? I want to know what you want to do. And it's not just, why are you selling? Right? So, Patrick, why are you selling?
It's just not big enough for me anymore.
Gotcha. So what size are you looking for?
Something at least 1,200 square feet about.
Very nice. And how many bedrooms?
2 bedroom.
2 bedrooms, 1,200 square feet. And what are you looking to do with that space?
Just a little bit of entertaining. I'd like a little yard for my dogs too. I really like outdoor areas, so that living space could be outdoor as well as long as
Nice. How many dogs do you have?
2.
What are their names?
Joey and Malia.
Joey and Malia. How cool. So Joey and Malia want a yard.
Yeah.
Okay. I know him well enough to know these are his kids, right? So it's like, now I'm gonna start talking about his kids.
I felt really warm.
Because I actually, good, see, because I asked you questions and then I got clarity on it, right? Like, most people will just say, why are you moving? I want 1,200 square feet. Great, now I know what you need. 1,200 square feet, 2 bedrooms. Boom, let's find you that. Okay, but when I need you to reduce the price of what you're currently in, if I can get you dreaming about what you're gonna be in, you start to get a little more motivated about reducing the price of what you're in because you wanna be there, right? So you've gotta build up the being there. So how's it gonna feel when you move into that 1,200 square feet?
It's gonna feel awesome.
And you like to entertain.
I'm ready to price reduct right now.
Yeah, see, right? And you like to entertain.
Yeah.
Do you like big parties or more intimate gatherings?
More intimate.
Yeah? What do you do when you intimately gather? You just like,
Taste cheese.
oh my gosh, really? That's so cool. Is there a little wine with that cheese?
Of course.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I know what I'm getting you for a closing gift. Right? Like, I'm gonna just keep asking questions. Now, what is that, in reality, what is that telling you? And I think you talked about it earlier.
That you care.
That I care. Because most people don't care. They're just gonna walk in and go, okay, you need 1,200 square feet, let's go find you 1,200 square feet. Okay, now we need to reduce the price here. What's up, Hudson?
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
So you're gonna be like, hey, I just need you to reduce the price, you know. So let's get it done.
I felt like you really had a genuine interest in me too.
Right, and then I guess this way all my clients become my friends, right?
Sure.
Become a Todd Hudson and have, you know, 5,000 new friends and we'll be able to do. This is why we want to get clarity, right? So we want to get clear on what's going on with the client. Yes, ask those questions. Makes a difference. Creates a relationship. Because here's the truth. You can throw an about me that says I've been in real estate for 30 years and I'm fantastic and amazing and awesome and I've sold this many houses, but do you care about me though? Right? So that's where that comes in. Make sense? Very nice. All right. Are you staying for a while, Todd?
I was.
Oh, how nice. All of you, this is Todd Hudson. He is the rainmaker for the 808 team.
Hi. Hello.
And he's going
How
to
you
be
doing?
teaching one of your classes coming up. Are you next? Are you set?
6, I think. Is that your
6? Oh,
listings?
perfect. So Friday. Is it Friday? No, Thursday.
This Thursday? Excellent.
That's right, that's
That's why I brought my class.
All right, it's all about you. Why are you moving? Do you need to sell within a certain time frame, right? So that's the other thing. How quickly would you want to be entertaining friends and having lots of fancy, awesome cheese?
Right away.
Right? So I'm getting you excited to do that versus how quick do you need to move?
Sure.
Right? That's not as exciting a question, right? That makes more sense. All right, do you have a price in mind that you think your home will sell for? Good question. Are you staying in the area after your home sells? Well, we've probably already figured that out. All right, page 32 talks about the 10+ experience. I'd like for you to have a great experience selling your home, and that begins with me being very clear on what your expectations are. So I would like to ask you about that. So I think this gets a little bit more into, Shaylin, what you were talking about, right? Ask each question on the page, allow plenty of time for them to answer. And write their answers in your packet. Allow equal time for both parties if the sellers are a couple. And you do want to make sure you're not having a conversation with just one person. Because often you're having a conversation with the person who doesn't make the decisions. And that's not good. Right? We need to talk to everybody. All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not so desirable and 10 being extremely desirable, what one thing has to happen in this transaction for your experience to be a 10? Right? Ask those kind of questions. Because you don't know what that person's expectation is unless you find out, right? Does that make sense? What about that is important to you? So I think those kinds of questions are really important. If we could add just one more thing, what other thing has to happen to make your experience a 10 plus? And then ask what's important about that. If we could add just one more thing, and notice they asked it again. Okay, now let me ask you this. When you look at a question that's already been asked and you see it again, how do you feel about that?
It's an important question.
Very good. Anybody else feel differently? Yes.
It's just like where you guys.
Okay. So that's a personality thing. Because I used to think the same. I'd be like, asked and answered, come on. When you're asking the questions, it's very different when you're the person receiving the questions and answering them. It's a different perception. So when somebody asks you the same question and goes a little deeper, it's not perceived the same way when you're the one answering. But I see me instantly, I'm like, hello, we already asked this question. I always want to say, okay, answer. But that's a mistake. You want to actually ask it again. You'd be surprised. You will get to a deeper level and you'll be like, oh, dang, they were right. It works. I'm telling you, it works. Try it. All right. Page 34. So tell me, let me tell you a little about the company I work with, Keller Williams. So I always include like a, simple brag sheet. Quickly cover the selling points about KW, #1 in the world, #1 training company, best mobile property search app, and accessing hundreds of real estate websites globally. As your experience grows, you will share more about your abilities and expertise. As a new agent, you may choose to share more about Keller Williams. All right, so page 35 is about KW. Page 36 is tech. So I always talk a little bit about tech, because that's important, especially when you have somebody who wants you to put their listing on what I call the wall of real estate agents in the newspaper. So it's funny, was it Daniel Todd? I think he's the one who posted on the Facebook page. Has anybody ever had a buyer or a home sell out of the newspaper? Everybody's like, crickets, like there was nothing. And I'm like, you gotta understand like what actually sells property right now, it's tech. So we have great statistics from NAR that you guys can pull. And in fact, we have those on the listing presentations in the drive, so you'll see those. All right. Your notes, what you get from me. So this is page 38. What you're getting from me is the following. Quickly cover the professionalism and expertise you provide, highlighting each category listed on this page. So that's right here. Communication. So your needs always come first. That's where we're going to talk about communication. Matthew, would you read page 39 to us?
Sure. Communication. Your needs always come first. I will provide the service we agree to and communicate in the ways that work for you. Whether once a week, once a day, by phone, email, or text message, you'll always be kept in the loop. From listing to closing, you'll know the status of our marketing efforts, the offers on the table, and the steps leading to a successful closing once an offer is accepted. Experience and expertise. The complexities of your real estate transaction will be well handled. Smoothing the way for your listing and sale. I will remove many potential challenges before they have the opportunity to appear. Marketing. Your home will get the exposure it deserves. My marketing systems maximize your property's exposure to buyers. Neighborhood tracking tools and automated buyer calling systems allow me to reach active buyers who want to know about your listing. Pricing. Your home will be priced right, adjusted as needed, and sold quickly. With a keen understanding of both the big picture and the very latest local and neighborhood listing and sales data, the information you need is at my fingertips.
Nice. All right. So you got to figure out what you provide, right? That may not be exactly what you're providing, but you want to let them know what you're doing for them. Set up the expectations. All right. The next page is about technology, staging, and satisfaction. Shaylin, will you read that page 41?
41, yes. You get from me technology, Suite of technology tools will help us communicate easily, always know where we are in the process, and allow us to work together remotely when needed. Staging. Homes sell because of correct pricing and great presentation. I know what it takes to make that the terrific first impression that will get your home sold and satisfaction. I'll guarantee your satisfaction. Our relationship is dependent on meeting and exceeding your needs. We identify those needs together, and my cancellation guarantee protects your right to end our relationship if you're disappointed.
Nice. Okay. 42, the home selling process. If their answer to the pre-listing packet question, have you ever bought or sold real estate, was no, you may need to explain the steps more thoroughly. If yes, you can skim over this content. So this is basically the home selling process, page 43. And it lays it out. It's a little bit different in different states. So this is gonna go through your servicing and marketing, your offers and negotiations, and your contract to close. Nice to have something like that in there. I usually set that up as sort of like a flyer. That's one of the things I will actually give people so that they have that information in front of them. All right, so a smooth closing. If they've sold a home, tell it. It may have been a while since you've sold a home, so let's look at what's expected of sellers on the closing table. Keep in mind, you also want to ask them if they sold a home in Hawaii, because some people haven't sold in Hawaii, they've only bought in Hawaii, right? So we want to explain this a little bit differently. Let's review what's expected at the closing table, and you're always going to ask different questions. So again, we've got the smooth closing over here. So this is going to be a little bit different for Hawaii, but you see that they're laying it out for you. So you got what sellers commonly pay the following at closing, and then the closing appointment. So it's different here because we actually close after all the signings are done. So it's a couple days after. Most people are used to walking in, signing documents, and getting keys or giving keys, right? So it's not like that here. Do you guys understand that process? Does anybody not understand that process? Todd doesn't understand that process. Thank you. Okay. So when I close escrow, I don't record at the same time as they call it a closing table in a lot of different states, right? You go to the closing table, and if you're the buyer, you're signing all your loan documents, and you literally close and you own it right then and there. Okay? It doesn't happen here like that. So you go and you have to, as the buyer, you sign all your loan documents, all your title documents, and then a couple days, because your loan's got to fund and do all these different things, and then a couple days later, you're gonna close. Okay? So as the seller, you're gonna sign your documents, and then they're gonna have to go and record. Okay? So the recordation is actually closing. Make sense? Yes? Do you understand that now, Todd?
Thank you.
You're welcome. So glad I could clarify that for you. All right, so that's how it works here. So it's a little bit different. So a lot of times, especially if somebody's buying here and they've never bought anywhere before, they'll go to the table when they're going to escrow and they're thinking they're getting the keys. So again, if you had the buyer's presentation with them, clarify these processes so they understand they're not yet getting the keys. Yes, makes you look smart. You do, right? All right. So 3 factors. We're on 46. It's important to point out the 3 things that make the difference between getting the home sold and having it sit on the market with little attention from buyers. All 3 can be handled strategically to get the job done quickly. All right. So what are the 3 factors on page 47?
Condition of the house.
Yep.
Marketing of the house to buyers.
Yep.
And price of the house.
Yes, that is correct. Those are the 3 factors. So condition, marketing, and price. So which ones do we actually affect?
Condition and price, but the market dictates the price.
Right, so condition and marketing. The only thing that I can affect is condition and marketing. The market picks the price, right? So I don't actually pick the price. The seller doesn't pick the price. They think they do. It's okay. It's all good. All right. So page 48, condition. Cherish, will you read through that for me?
Yes. Tell. Buyers are attracted or distracted immediately by the condition of the home. From the curb appeal to every room in the house to the backyard, it all matters. Buyers rank condition as one of the top 3 things they consider when choosing a home. Most want a move-in ready, model-like home. Buyers are trying to see themselves in a property they visit. They are trying to imagine a wonderful life inside your house. So our goal is to help them by preparing the house so that nothing distracts them from being able to do this. This means a great curb appeal, a clean interior with as few repairs needed as possible. After all, daydreams don't often come with hammers. And as few reminders as possible that someone else is living there, and that includes not being there during showings. Once we agree to work together, I'll advise you on how to properly prepare your home with staging to accomplish this. Does that sound good?
Good.
Ask any questions.
Yep, go over the quick list of tips to improve the appearance of your home. So the level you do that at is up to you, how you run your business, right? So you can do some, help people with clearing out clutter like we were talking about. You can have them hire stagers, you can do some of that for them. That's up to you, whatever level you wanna show up at. Make sense? Very good. So isn't that interesting that it actually says that you won't be here during showings? We might want everybody to know that, yeah? Don't assume they know these things, right? We need to let them know when there's showings, you're gonna be leaving, so the person can imagine themselves there, right? They're not moving in with you. All right, great condition cells. This is a breakdown, and this is actually a pretty decent breakdown. I like the one on 49. It talks about what to do. First impressions begin at the curb. Most people have decided that they want to move forward. If we're talking about a house, not so much a condo, but a house, they step out, they look at the front, they've decided if they want to walk through the front door or not. Yeah. They've made a decision about whether they are interested in going through that front door, right? So we want to keep the grass cut, weed, and apply fresh mulch, remove all yard clutter, apply fresh paint or stained fences, paint the front door, add a new welcome mat, clean windows inside and out, wash or paint home's exterior, tighten and clean all door handles. This is the kind of thing you want to go through with your sellers, right? You want to talk to them, because sometimes this is a cost conversation too, right? What